The scattering happens between the tiny gaps of the leaves, and that produces rays coming from the sun. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make your anime style tree more stunning and interesting. My previous video covered the basics of making anime style tree, but this one will be a bit advanced. So yeah, no more introductions, and I'm gonna show you how. To make the tree more dynamic and interesting, we need to use more colors. And for this video, I'm going to use the same shades of green, and I'm going to choose my colors around this area in the color picker. You can also find different color shades over the internet, and you can use it as your guide. And oh, by the way, when choosing a color, try to limit your search around this area, because this is where there is a good balance between saturation and value of the color. So okay, I'm going to fast forward a little bit so we can move on to the next step. For the colors of the trunk, I sometimes try to pick colors around the green, the blue, and the brown spectrum. And honestly, I don't have a specific colors in mind right now, so I will just try to use my intuition. Sometimes I don't know if the color will work unless I try using it, but I can just choose another color if I think it doesn't look good. And yeah, that's the advantage of digital art, right? And I think I'm good with this color so far, so now let's start painting. The process of making a tree will consist of 3 stages, which I talked about in my last video. If you haven't seen it yet, I suggest to check it out, and I'm going to put the link in the description below. I'm going to use 2 colors for every stages, so this is for the base, and this is for the form, and this is for the detail. So okay, I'll start painting the base right now. And I really don't know what will it look like, but yeah, just testing out, and if it looks good, then I'll commit to it. That's basically how I approach painting. Sometimes I don't know what I want to achieve, so I try to use my intuition and make some adjustments along the way. Yeah, I think this looks good to me. I'll add another layer and add a second color into this base. If you're studying tree in real life, you will notice that it consists of different colors and shade. And most trees in anime, especially by Studio Ghibli, they uses the same principle, and that's why their art is so stunning and so beautiful. It looks real, but it's not. And that's the power of colors. So yeah, I suggest you study real life environment and try to apply what you see in your painting. I'm good with the base, so I'm going to add another layer to make the form of the tree. Basically, you can create the form by dividing the shape of the tree into smaller parts and paint the top part or wherever the light is coming from. And in this case, my light source is here. So aside from painting the top part, I'll also extend the form here on the right side. Okay, that's quite what I'm looking for. So now I'll add another color to enhance the form. Alright, this looks good. Finally, I'll be adding the details of the tree. And since my light source is here, I'll add the majority of the details on this part. There's no general rule for painting the details, but try to keep it few and simple as much as possible. Details are meant to add interest to your painting, and its purpose is to support the other elements in the scene. Okay, I'm satisfied with the details, so I'll add another layer to create highlights. I'm gonna use a round brush so I can have more control on the shape and the size of the highlights. yeah, it's good for me. And I'm happy with how it turned out. So yeah, now let's move on to painting the trunk. I'll add a new layer in between the base and the form, and I'll start blacking the shape of the trunk. I'll use this for colors, and I'll start with this one for the main shape. Again, I don't know what I'm looking for the shape of the trunk, so I'll just try whatever it looks good for me. Okay, the shape looks interesting, so I'm good with it. I'll add a new layer and use this color to create the texture to the trunk. And I'll use this color to create reflected light. And yeah, last but not the least, I'll use this color to lighten some parts of the trunk and also the branches where the light hits. Great, this is looking good. Maybe I'll add some leaves here because it's a bit awkward leaving these branches alone. And I'll also add some more because why not? So yeah, I'm really satisfied with how this tree turned out. Honestly, we can stop the video right here, but I'd like to show you another way to make this even more interesting and somehow realistic. Some leaves are typically translucent, and that means light can pass through it. Real trees have subsurface scattering, especially when the sun is bright. You can see it in individual leaves and even in the trees in the forest. These are the bright areas, and this natural occurrence can be applied to art as well. Look at this background art from one of the Studio Ghibli film, and it looks stunning. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. The scattering happens between the tiny gaps of the leaves, and that produces rays coming from the sun. This is a background art from Makoto Shinkai's film 5 centimeters per second. It's incredibly stunning and beautiful as well. And another example is this from the anime Your Name. The scattering also produces light rays, and just like the other two, this one is also stunning. So now we know about the subsurface scattering, let's start painting it. I'll add a new layer and I'm going to set the blending mode to screen. I'm using a round brush here and I chose a lighter green color. And yeah, I'll start painting patches of light in the gap of the leaves. You don't need to color every gap, just some parts that you think might look good. So again, just test the water and see what works for you. And for me, this is pretty good and I'm satisfied with it. So next, I'm gonna add light rays. I'll add a new layer and set the blending mode again to screen. Since my light source is here, I'll paint the rays in this angle. Okay, cool. So lastly, I'm gonna add light patches in the trunk and the branches. Just some round patches will do since that represents the gap from the leaves. I'll add direct light here on this side of the trunk and a little bit more patches around the branches. And yeah, I'm done. I know I said it a lot, but I'm really satisfied with how this turned out. And honestly, I never imagined it to look like this, but I'm happy it looks good. So thank you for watching this video. I love making anime style arts, so yeah, I'll be posting more tutorials like this. And if you think this helps you, please don't forget to like, share, and if you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.